Of those who encounter the power of the primal vow, not one passes by in vain. They are filled with the treasure ocean of virtues, the defiled waters of their blind passions not separated from it. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandats, 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 namandats. Good morning, everyone. And welcome to this year's Hatsubon Urabon Es service. For those of you who are not familiar with this term or with this time, this is a time where we take special service to acknowledge the members who have passed away between last year's Obon and this year's Obon. And it's a very special time, a very meaningful time, and a very thoughtful time. This year, we commemorate the passings of Dr. Jim Akagi, Mr. Tada Yotsuye, and Mr. Edward Maeda. All three of these members were people who I had the privilege of meeting while they were still with us in this life. And it was actually during this time as well that I was thinking about, what should my Dharma talk be like? And I will admit to being a little bit nervous, for many of the family members of the members who have passed away are present with us today. But one of the things that rings true to me is that while, of course, the passing of a loved one is filled with emotion, filled with sadness, filled with grief, and filled with tears, we can also enjoy the memories of happy times as well, where we are warmed by thoughts of the times that we shared with loved ones, where we laughed, where they taught us an important lesson, and where they said something very meaningful to us, or even did an action that goes beyond words. All of these memories and all of these feelings come back to us with the recitation of Namo Amida Butsu. This is to say that our loved ones, while they were born into the Pure Land, come back to this world and teach us of Amida's great wisdom and compassion. All of you who are here today most likely have remembered these men in some way. Some of you have probably heard their name for the first time, and yet you are still drawn here to help participate in this service to remember these men and their lives. Some of you have known these men all of your life and cannot imagine life without them. I am certain that despite the fact that it has been a year since the person's passing, or in between that time, there are times where you still go home and you expect them to be there. You expect them to, you see them in the chair that they used to be in. And then probably a feeling of sadness comes over. But I am actually not here to say that the sadness is a bad thing. In fact, actually, the sadness and the emotions that we feel for our past loved ones remind us of how much we were connected and how much we loved them and how much they loved us. This type of sadness is a healthy one, and it's important that we allow ourselves to feel these emotions. Most of the time in our life, we try to distract ourselves from the hardships and the pain in life with television, buying things, or some other type of distraction. And with technology the way that it is today, it's very easy to do this. However, Buddhism teaches us that acknowledging these emotions is a healthy thing. Buddhism teaches us that, yes, the ultimate goal of Buddhism is enlightenment, to become a Buddha, to be freed from attachments. But at the same time, it doesn't teach us to cut ourselves off from our emotions, to stifle our humanity. Buddhism tells us that the love that we feel for our past loved ones is not something that dies with them. If anything, the love that we feel for our loved ones continues on as we carry on in life and as we have the next generation. The love that was given to us freely from our past loved ones is something that we can pass on. Last year, I had the privilege as well to visit my family gravesite at Lodi, California. How many of you know where Lodi, California is? Yes? That is where my grandparents are buried. And I remember feeling a great sense of awe and a great sense of deep appreciation. At my family gravesite, we have a huge headstone with the family crest, but also that of the Sagara Fujimon, or this symbol, engraved on the stone. And it made me once again realize that my great-grandparents and many probably ancestors before them were devoted followers of the Nembutsu path. This is a type of love that was passed from generation to generation onto myself and that I share with all of you now, that we all share with each other here and now. Coming to temple, being able to lean upon one another is also part of Buddhism. In times of great sadness, there are times where we want to shut ourselves off and to close ourselves off from the world because we don't want people to see us be weak or be vulnerable or be afraid. But one of the things that we should definitely encourage is the leaning upon family members who are there to mourn with us, to feel the support and love from the community, the temple community, in times of hardship and sadness. This is what it means also to be a Buddhist. Reciting the Nembutsu acknowledges the true interdependence that Amida Buddha teaches us, that all of us are embraced within the light of wisdom and compassion. In this time of reflection and sadness, we are also able to have a great feeling of appreciation and thankfulness. Thankfulness of our loved ones who have truly not departed from us because we remember them in today's world, in today's time. I cannot think of a better example of what it means to be born in the Pure Land and to come back to this world and teach us of the way of Nembutsu. As all of you came forward to offer incense and to gaze upon the pictures of your loved ones, I'm certain many emotions were flooding through you at that time. And this is okay. Loved ones and members alike, and even first-time visitors, know that your loved ones are still with you in the recitation of Namo Amida Butsu. Through the power of the primal vow, not one person passes by in vain. All of us are able to hear and receive the Nembutsu teaching. Our loved ones who have gone to the Pure Land before us still teach us the Nembutsu as we sit here to this very day. So as we reflect on the lives of our loved ones, let us recite the Nembutsu with a great sense of thankfulness and togetherness. Please join me in Gassho. Of those who encounter the power of the primal vow, not one passes by in vain. They are filled with the treasure ocean of virtues, the defiled waters of their blind passions not separated from it. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandats, 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 namandats.